everyone. I'm Bobbi Rowntree, born medium. Welcome to my latest video. I know that if you are a regular viewer, this seems a little bit different. I have filmed here before, but I don't usually. Usually I'm in front of my fireplace or I'm sitting on the space on which I do my readings. But today is a little bit different for me. Today is a lot different for me, actually. Today marks a huge anniversary for me. It actually marks the anniversary that helped to spur me into figuring out what it is that my brain can do. Today is the anniversary of my father's passing. And it was 37 years ago. But I'm making this video so that I can show grief and how grief is, it's never ending. It is never, ever ending. If anyone tells you you can get over your grief, they are lying to you. What you do is actually get more accustomed to your grief. You get more used to the pain that you're feeling, and therefore you seem to feel as though you are able to overcome it or get over it in some sort of way. But you never really actually do. You never actually get over your own grief. So one of the best ways, in my opinion, of dealing with your grief is head on, is get right in there. So every year at this time, because I was 16 when my father passed away, and it was so life jarring and financially unstabling that my mother, my sister, and I had to move to Nanaimo on Vancouver Island, which absolutely set me on the path that brought me here, because Vancouver Island is an absolutely marvelous place to be a psychic human being, because there's something about Vancouver Island. And if I had stayed where we were, Kamloops, I don't know. I don't know what would have happened. I do know that if my father hadn't passed away, it would have been difficult for me to live this truth, because my father was an atheist. And even though I was only 16 when he crossed, he and I would argue about the existence of God and the existence of a higher being and higher powers. And he vehemently disagreed with me. He really, really, really felt like there was nothing else, that there was nothing more after you died. And I can't even imagine going through his passing and believing that. I can't imagine losing him and not knowing that I would one day see him again, or not knowing that he could continue to visit and communicate with me. I cannot imagine how awful that would feel. So, because his passing helped me to see what I truly was, because after he passed, he came and he stood at the end of my bed, and I knew it was him, not because of his face, because he was headless. He had no head. I guess he was able to conjure up his body, but not his head. But he had this habit, as a lot of men do, or used to. A lot of men used to have this habit of playing with their change in their pockets. People don't have change anymore. Ask any homeless person, they do not have change to give to you, because everything's on cards, everything's plastic, everything's imaginary. Well, everything was imaginary then too. Anyway, because of that, I knew that it was him, and I could hear him, and he told me that I was right and he was wrong. And yeah, easily I can look at that moment and say, okay, well, my mind was helping me. My mind was actually taking my grief and making it into something that I could imagine him saying to me, possibly, or that I could see as a message from him to make me feel better about the grief I was feeling. And what if that is actually true? What if my mind is that freaking powerful that it can create a vision at the end of my bed, a vision that includes sound, that includes obviously visual because it's a vision, that includes a feeling, that includes everything? Why the devil would my mind need to do that? If my mind could do that, why wouldn't my mind just shut it all down? Why wouldn't my mind just take my grief and make it fly away and make me have this happy feeling all the time? Well, because my mind didn't do it, my dad did. And because of that moment I had with him, I know that he's a little bit on the same page as me. I know that my use of him in my readings helps him, makes him stronger. My acknowledgement of the communication that he gave to me makes him stronger. My love for him is never ending and will never change. And his love for me can be felt deep inside of me everywhere because he is no longer hindered by a meat suit and he no longer has the mind of a man born in the 40s. 50s. My dad was born in the 50s. But still, had he still been here, he actually might have hindered my progress. And I admit that. The point is, even when you are fully aware that you are being communicated with, and even when you are a medium who knows that they can have dreams all the time to visit and they can communicate whenever they feel like it, and they get absolute evidence of their father's existence on the other side, even though I am all those things, I still cry. 37 years. 37. Death doesn't get easier, and it is an inescapable part of your life, whether it be your own, the people you love, or the people around you that you are witnessing going through it. Death is never ending. That's actually what just popped in my head, which is actually quite true. As long as we exist, death will exist. So we might as well come to terms with it. We might as well realize what it truly is. We might as well see death as the transition, the opening, the enlightenment that it truly is. Because my father passed away at such a young age, 41. He is now able to see the things that I would have had to convince him very strongly of. Now he helps me to know that those things are true. I use him when my spirit guides tell me something I think is fantastic or crazy or odd. I will say, Dad, is that true? If it's true, show me these things 3 times. I will make it easy for my dad. When I believe that he is communicating, I acknowledge it and I say, well done. Because even if it's not him, even if I'm incorrect, he will see me do that and say, okie dokie, this is what she's going to pay attention to. She's giving me clues of how to talk to her. They want you to do this. They want to connect with you. They want to stay connected. Because the reason I'm crying so much right now is because he's right here. Oh, and he's making it really hard to not cry. Dang it. So, communicate with your people on the other side. Know that they're still communicating with you. Realize and see and maybe feel that it's not done. Your relationship with them has just grown into a different type of relationship. And they are in a place where they can show things to you. They can help you. They can guide you ever so slightly. They are not your spirit guides because they still have minds. They were still in existence while you were in existence with your mind. So they are not your guides, but you can double check things with them. You might trust them more than you do your guides. Obviously, I do. I hope that this video helps. I hope that if you are dealing with something like I am, and you can't figure out why you can't get over it, just know that maybe when you're having these big emotional times, it's because they're right there, and they are creating it within you. Happy July 6th, everyone. I hope that you have a wonderful day today. Namaste.